Boom. We're in.
Bam.
Bam.
Bam. Ham and jam.
Peanut butter and jam.
Yes. Peanut butter and jam.
Boys, I can't give you a bam, but I can give you a green eggs and ham. Phil, what? Shut the fuck up.
All right, let's do it. On this episode of the Red Eye Report, we're talking about UFOs, specifically the rebranding of UFOs to UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena. Changes in the air, and the government is changing their tune on these sightings. What's going on? With me this week is Aerospace Ashtray. He claims that he's been abducted 16 times, impregnated 6 grays, and knows the KFC secret recipe. I know what you're thinking.
Oh, shit.
Maybe I can buy the abductions and even the KFC recipe, but we all know he can't knock shit up, so...
That's right, I'm sterile, baby. I could fuck any alien and not have to worry.
I'm telling you, that's just some shit he tells bitches so he doesn't have to wear a condom.
Right.
Yeah. I swear to God. He gonna fuck. Yeah. He think his pullout game is. They think his pullout game is strong, but he gonna fuck up one time. Watch.
Yeah. Except for when you get that Neptunian herp. That stuff won't go away.
Neptunian herp. Great band name.
That is a great band name. We also have Triangle Teddy. He's a triangle.
Dude, that was horrible.
That's great.
No, it's horrible. But dots. Dots are another horrible candy.
Oh, gross. That's a gross candy, Teddy.
Yeah, dots are horrible candy. I'm going through my son's house.
I love dots.
I love dots too.
Dots are my movie go-to. When I'm in the theater.
There's a box of raisins in here.
Oh, they
fucking hipsters.
Yeah, fuck those.
All right.
Box of raisins.
We also have
Would you go to the Mormon house?
Mass sighting Mystic. There's a mass sighting of Mystic every time he leaves the house. People don't know what to make of him. Shaved grimace, methed up polar bear with mange. The 911 tapes are hilarious.
Yeah. Problem is you can only
grimace.
I like shaved grimace, yeah.
You can only fit him in one of your peripherals.
Pretty sure someone called me that one time, a hairless grimace.
Finally, we have me, official position oracle. My official position is that we should all get a free punch card. Every time somebody does something stupid, you get one punch. Bam! Right in the nose or the stomach. Maybe it's a pretty chick or something, so you don't want to break their nose, but you're okay with aborting their fetus. Well, enough of that. This is the Red Eye Report.
Oh my God! I was waiting the whole time for you to get done to say that your official position was grabbing your ankles, but then you finished off strong, and it just took me. That was real good.
I am okay with that. To be honest with you.
Ooh, candy corn jackpot! Ooh.
All right.
What?
Man,
I love candy corn,
dude. You are fucked up.
Dots is a horrible candy.
You are a strange man. Strange man.
It is weird.
All right, so we're talking about UFOs tonight. And UFOs have been in the news recently, definitely over the past couple of years. We had that weirdo Storm Area 51 meme thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With the
whatever happened. I mean, they had a show, right? Like a music celebration thing.
Yeah, they had a music
Did anybody actually try to go up to the border of Area 51?
One woman, yeah.
One woman did?
One woman that did, yeah. She was like fucked up on something, and she went past the line, and they just grabbed her.
She's probably just like, I just want to actually go back with my people.
Yeah, so, I mean... For that shit, I'm honestly, well, that was obviously just a dumb fucking meme thing. But a lot of the kind of abduction stuff and weirdo story shit, I don't really buy it. I haven't really bought it for a while. I'm a fan of the X-Files, but that's fiction.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Or is it? So recently, I have been seeing this stuff from the U.S. government. The U.S. government seems to have changed their stance on how they're labeling UFOs. And now they're called UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena. UAPs.
Dumb.
And it seems, and I will get into some of the footage that has been released within the past couple of years. The New York Times has run a few articles on it. It's been hitting major media outlets recently. It seems that they are acknowledging that there is shit out there that they are tracking and they don't know what it is. And instead of, with UFOs, if you were in the military or whatever, you didn't want to speak up and be the fucking crackpot guy.
Yeah.
But
I'd do if I don't want to be up there with those things in a jet.
Yeah.
Lose your fighter license.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, is they are seeing so many of these sightings now that there's actually protocols as to reporting them.
Wait, how often? I mean, you said you're seeing so many of them. Is there like a number or like of how many sightings?
It kind of seems to come in waves when different like carrier groups and things are in different areas, but I've heard of numbers of like upwards of 50 where it's commonplace, where they actually are seeing this stuff. But I'm going to get into that. Let's kind of go back to kind of the history of some of the more credible UFO sightings. So this all started in 1947, and I didn't realize this, but the flying saucer was actually derived from the initial sighting where he was describing a disc or whatever, like skipping a saucer across water, and that's how it was moving. It was bouncing.
Was describing this, a pilot?
Yeah. So that he was describing what he was seeing, and that's where flying saucer actually kind of the movement of it, kind of the erratic kind of movement. Actually, they were delta shaped. So delta shape is kind of like a boomerang, and I think there was like 3 of them or something like that. But anyway, so the U.S.
that was called a delta shape.
So the U.S. government actually has had programs that track these things. So they had one big one, Project Blue Book. I don't know if you guys have heard of Project Blue Book.
I watch Ancient Aliens. I am very familiar with Project Blue Book.
Okay, so you're on the Project Blue Book. And they supposedly pulled the plug on Blue Book in 1969. They said they didn't have conclusive evidence.
Yeah, all fucking lies, man.
That's what they say when they just put it on the Black Book.
But ancient astronaut theorists believe.
Now, some of this stuff, okay, so when it's just like an isolated case or whatever, one person is just saying it, honestly, I don't buy that shit. But when it's significant enough where they're actually scrambling fighter jets to go after these things in the sky, like what happened in 1951 off the coast of Jersey, there were multiple sightings from the police, and they were trying to intercept something. In 1958, actually, I'm going to bring this photo up of Brazilian Navy actually had this. Now, when I see stuff like this, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, you could fucking doctor a photo or whatever. I don't buy it, but this was supposedly from the Brazilian Navy, so, I mean, unless if you want to seem like a bunch of fucking crackpots.
Right. Like you do.
1971, the Costa Rican government had a photo with one from a survey that they were doing. And so these are kind of like the times of the flying saucers. And then we get into
looks like an old Ed Wood movie.
Yeah, right. then we get to the 80s, and the shape of the ships actually changes, and you're starting to see a lot of these black triangles. And these things are fucking huge.
Well, those aliens could just, black triangles could be in style now,
Right? So
like, look at the way cars have changed.
Have you guys heard of the Phoenix Lights from 1997?
Yeah. That one's spooky.
Spooky, right?
So many motherfuckers saw it, and it sounds like it was ginormous.
Not familiar.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a video up, and this was in 1997. Like Ashtray is saying, a fuck ton of people saw this.
Even the mayor of Phoenix, I believe,
even the mayor
tried to get the Air Force to be like, what the hell, like, give us a public report.
Right. But interestingly, he kind of made a bit of a mockery of it when it initially happened. And then years later, after he retired, he was like, yeah, I saw it too. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was just trying to quell, hysteria. So yeah, this huge series of lights. It looks like it could be the same craft. That's what people are saying, and that's kind of what a lot of these different things were.
Like you can see them turning on.
All right, I live in the rural country. You're freaking me the fuck out right now.
Well, yeah,
and
if you look at that, it's like multiple city blocks in size.
Right, it was huge, and the military, they're like, oh well, it was flares. Those aren't flares, dude. Those are fucking not.
Flares don't stay at the same elevation.
No, that is definitely not flares. So this one,
I mean, you gotta understand. I mean, from a military standpoint, there. I mean, you gotta understand if they
can't come out and say it if they know what it is even.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I don't think we'd be a match for something that can do travel that we can do and have technology. Like, we don't have anything that can hover that still like that without making a huge amount of noise or anything like that. I mean, we don't. We obviously their technology is above ours. So if the military is kind of like, we're not going to say it exists because what do you want us to do? Go out there and get our ass kicked?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That and the military, they can't say that they know what it is. And if they don't know what it is, they can't say they don't know what it is either, because
they
don't
can't
want to
acknowledge that it exists.
Yeah.
Because
they don't know what the fuck it is.
Then people go into a hysteria.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, they have no real answers.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh yeah, that's just the Zorgons. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, trust me.
They do that all the time. Nobody's died yet.
Right. So that was in 97.
Only a few cows.
Another really notable incident, and actually, Mystic, you talked about this before, 1980, Rendlesham, which was the Air Force base in England that was U.S. run. It was actually in these woods in between these two bases, and it's really kind of interesting how that one took place. So there were these the first sighting that happened. It was like 2 days before the Christmas Eve, and they thought that the guards at the time were out looking, and they thought that there was possibly a plane that had gone down because there were lights in the forest. So they go to investigate, and there's this freaking triangular craft making its way through the woods, and then it takes off. Okay, so they go back, and the rest of the base is like, okay, whatever, you guys are fucking crazy. 2 days later, for the Christmas Eve party, all of a sudden, boom, officer comes busting in, and he's like, hey, that fucking thing is back. So the lieutenant commander of the base, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, who was a big skeptic, he had no interest. He's like, okay, I'm going to fucking shut this down. I'm going to go out.
Yeah.
I have, this is bullshit. You guys are overreacting. I'm going to shut this down.
Ruining my fucking night.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So he goes out there, and he actually took
Colonel ain't got time for this.
He took a tape recorder with him, which he apparently took with him all the time to just record when he was out doing his rounds and things, just in case if, there was a security incident or something. He goes out there, and on the recording, you can just hear in his voice, they fucking encounter this thing, and it's like bright lights. It looks really weird. Like the lights were so bright that they said that there was like a farmhouse out there, and it looked like it was on fire. The lights were so bright, and it was going through the woods, not touching any of the trees. It was avoiding them as they were approaching it, and they went out. Get this. They went out and they got radiation readings. There was radiation.
Oh, yeah, they found landing sites, or what looked like
and they
right?
found landing sites. And frickin' a guy was awarded a VA disability claim from the radiation from the UFO. Really? John McCain, actually, his office fought for him to get this. So the VA acknowledged that this happened out there, and this guy, received radiation as a result of it. So that was a pretty significant.
You can still listen to.
Oh, absolutely. The audio is actually really
is
good.
Released. I think it was like a BBC thing or something that I heard it. It was like, fuck, it kind of spooked me.
Yeah.
You remember the show that we did on the Dyatlov Pass?
Yes.
People thought that shit was fucking
possibly aliens, right?
With the aliens too,
right.
Yeah.
So, or the Yeti.
Now, we go into this. Kind of brings me into the modern era, and where things kind of went quiet a little bit. Excuse me, until like the early 2000s, and one event happened. Well, the New York Times ran this article 2 years ago, and apparently the U.S. Navy has been seeing a lot of shit with their F-18s. And they had one incident that happened in 2004 off the coast of San Diego.
I can see myself on that straight screen.
They're out doing a training exercise, and they're out there, and there's some sort of a craft that is hovering over the surface of the ocean. And this guy is the commander of a squadron of F-18s. So they're like, okay, we're going to check this shit out. And as they get closer, it actually looks as if the craft is hovering over something that is under the surface of the ocean. So the craft is maybe like 50 feet long. It's actually described as a tic-tac shape. No other discernible features on the outside. And it
was a giant alien suppository.
Yeah. Underneath it is some sort of, looks like some sort of submerged thing, and it's actually causing the ocean to bubble underneath that. So they actually pick it up with their radar or whatever, their tracking systems. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that one up. So let me bring that up here. So this one, you can't, they kind of zoom in on it. You can't get a good look at it, but when you hear this guy talk about it, actually, he was on Joe Rogan. And
Joe Rogan interview?
Yeah, cool. And I mean, the guy is completely with it. He's not a fucking crackpot. He's just a pilot.
Well, yeah, and to be a pilot, you got to be pretty even keeled, anyways. Right. They don't let crackpots fly.
And this dude is the
not in your army, buddy, but in mine we do.
This dude is the the commander, right? So there's that one, and so they go there, and then this thing just kind of bolts. It jets off, and the radar people on the ship. They're like, you're not going to believe this, but this thing is like 50 miles away at the rendezvous point where you were supposed to go to, like almost instantaneously. And they were describing this, and the guy said, he's like, the human body can withstand 8 Gs. They've looked at this thing, analyzed it. it was moving at 1,350 Gs. He said if a human was inside that thing, they would be paste.
You just get splattered against the back wall.
And also, when this stuff happens too, they say that it doesn't make a noise. And he said if something is moving that quickly, you're just going to have a series of sonic booms as it moves.
Right.
Because it's going to be breaking the sound barrier. Don't hear anything. Yeah. Okay, so then we have another one from 2015, which is a series of videos. I'm going to bring these up. So once again, they're doing training exercises. This is in the Atlantic. And they pick up this frickin', well, you take a look at it. These are official Navy videos from their jets.
Yes, it looks like a Volvo.
Okay, come on, New York Times.
Come on, New York Times. We need that fake news now.
Right? Oh, no, they're shutting us down.
Wow, you didn't subscribe?
No, I'm just trying to get the goddamn video to work, but it's not playing.
I can see that shape.
Yeah, that's fucking drone, bro.
Oh.
And I wonder, those thermal cameras?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah, they're probably, yeah.
So that means that's cold as ice if it's just a black dot?
Yeah, so there's no signature. It's not emitting anything. It's just this object that is...
It's out of like, yeah, somehow... and I mean, it does look like it's moving so smooth that it's like... It's almost like it's got to break free from all external physical forces.
Now, check this one out. This is called the Go Fast. So he was actually able to pick this thing up with his sensors.
That's weird.
You sure he's like a kid in front of me?
Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my god.
Ooh, look at that fucker go!
Look at it fly!
That reminds you of like how hard it must be for the cameraman to keep track of the golf ball.
So these guys are obviously completely at a loss as to what these things are. They're just trying to track them with their sensors. They don't know what's up. And these videos were actually released. There's this To the Stars thing, the Blink 182 singer.
Oh, is the Alien Research
Tom
Company
DeLonge,
or whatever?
Yeah. So actually, they released these videos, and they've been working with the Navy. It wasn't supposed to go out to the public, but it did. So after that, the Navy's just like, all right, well, I guess we need to acknowledge that we are trying to figure this stuff out.
But they'll let the guy from Blink 182 know, but they won't let us know.
What's gonna happen?
I
never trust a punk rocker with top secret information.
Sounds like a horrible plot to like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
like the singer from a punk band like outs aliens.
Right, and then
now,
society has to come to terms with
the Stars Academy. These are the people that are on To the Stars Academy. So the co-founder, Jim Semivan, 25 years as operations officer for CIA. Steve Justice, Skunk Works. So Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works.
What's Skunk Works?
That's
division
all
of
the top secret shit, making all like the SR-71 and shit like that.
Great name for a top secret
the ray
thing.
guns, Ashtray, the ray guns.
Yeah, those ray guns they keep talking about, we never get.
Yeah.
So
like I said, got mine last week, bro.
They have all these people from the CIA, all these people from intelligence, and actually, this To the Stars Academy, the Army actually inked a deal with them, $750,000 commitment with them because they claim to have exotic extraterrestrial materials from crashed vehicles, and the Army wants to study them to potentially make fucking armors and weapons.
Say that again. They got how much
750 million?
No, 750,000
pieces.
Okay. No, money.
No, dollars.
Oh,
it doesn't seem like a lot for any defense contract.
It's not. Okay, so they
spent that much trying to make a pen right upside down.
Right. The Army has joined the extraterrestrial fray in a big way, inking a contract with DeLong's TTSA to collaborate in the study of exotic metals that both parties hope will lead to the development of advanced technologies. To the Stars claims to have acquired, designed, or produced these materials, which can offer an array of futuristic modifications like active camouflage, beamed energy propulsion, inertia mass reduction, and quantum communication.
Bullshit.
This is from the Army Times. I'm reading this from the Army Times.
Oh, it's from the Army Times, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's no propaganda.
Okay, so that's where I'm coming at from this. This looks like absolute bullshit. This seriously looks like complete bullshit. But the videos from the pilots, there's no.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you're right.
That's not bullshit. So I'm really kind of trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, it almost seems like, I mean, this just totally smells like bullshit here. Is this like some sort of fucking smoke screen or something?
The Army is the bullshit part of it. I think it's his business saying. I think the Army is like 750,000. We spend that in 4 hours. Sure, give it to him.
Right.
We see what he has.
Right.
A year of our
get a good
top
laugh
generals
out of it if it fucking doesn't work.
Right. So, I don't know. That's what's going on there. Now, to go back to the Rendlesham incident, to kind of bring this back around. When they were out there, remember there were the two guys that saw the small triangle vehicle initially. And one thing that I didn't say is actually one of the guys, let's see here, Jim Peniston, who was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, he actually came up to the triangle and claims to have touched the triangle. And he said that it didn't have any markings on it, or it had like the one spot with like hieroglyphic type things on it. And he touched the outside of it, and he felt this huge flash of light and totally disoriented. And he's fucked up from this. And he just started like writing in his notebook. I don't know if it was a few days later or whatever. And he ends up writing a bunch of binary code in his notebook. And there's actually pictures of this notebook pages with the binary code. Well, 30 years later, somebody sees that and they're like, hey, what the fuck is that? So he tells them what happens. He's like, okay, well, let's try to decode this shit. So they decode the binary code. And what they get from this, now, hey, this is fucking conspiracy shit. They
decode the binary code.
Right. So this is what it said. Exploration
what does it say?
of humanity, continuous for planetary advan, and they didn't have any more, fourth coordinate, continuous, and then they have these coordinates. And the coordinates are of a place in Belize, which is a temple, like a Aztec temple. Sedona, Arizona. They said they are not really sure, just kind of out in the forest. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the Nazca Lines in Peru, a sacred temple on top of a mountain in China, and the Temple of Apollo in Naxos, Greece. And
the 7-Eleven down from Mystic's house.
And High, Brazil, which is basically the Irish Atlantis, like Celtic Atlantis.
But we found it?
So it was on old maps and shit, but it never thought to actually exist. But it gives the coordinates to that. And it said also on there, it says eyes of your eyes, and it says origin year 8100. So I'll leave you with that.
Eye of your eyes.
Eyes of your eyes.
Eyes of your eyes.
In origin year 8100.
No, was this is a translation of the binary code, not
Yes.
the hieroglyphs, right?
A lot of
Yes.
that shit in fucking line. Was it lines or ones and zeros that he wrote the shit down?
Ones and zeros.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
so it's binary
That's a
code.
binary
Yeah,
code.
it's binary code.
Right, but a
Well-
binary code still is based upon like a certain structure. You
Sure,
know, it's like how
sure.
do we know how to translate their binary code without knowing
That's
the
what
way
I was
the
going to
aliens
ask.
code it?
Is
the
it one of
original?
those? Did it really give those coordinates, or was it like one of those things where it's like, well, in ancient Sumerian, we know that we can take away 4 from this number,
Sure.
and that gives us this number. You know what I mean?
So I listened
There's-
to an interview with the guy that actually did the
Let alone the
translation.
translation. Yeah.
And he said that he used that ASCII, the ASCII standard.
yeah.
But he also said that you need to like find the key, and then that's how everything is interpreted. So I don't know.
The key.
I don't fucking
Yeah.
know.
Right, but
The key is
I
his,
don't-
his subjectiveness, because like
Mhm.
I can't imagine you know, you would, without knowing what the aliens alphabet or even language is, how can they
Right.
be
Right.
determined that this, let alone is
Well,
you know,
okay.
not Mandarin Chinese?
So
Yeah, it's
the guy that wrote this code down and touched it, he had a theory, and he said, I think that it's us from the year 8100. And that we're trying to communicate.
So
with
it's
our-
not really aliens, but
right,
it's
us.
future human.
Right, it's future humans. I don't know. Okay, so my big question for you guys is, let's say the Navy and the Air Force and shit, they're seeing this stuff, they're having all these sightings and shit. Let's say some event happens, kind of like the Phoenix Lights or whatever, where it's just like fucking shit ton of people see it, and there's
Right.
obviously some sort of shit going
Can't
on.
fake it.
Right. Some massive event. It can't be hidden. What do you think happens?
It's a good question, because it's
I
going to
think they still try
happen
to-
soon one of these. Because imagine the Phoenix Lights would happen today.
Oh man, everybody have a
how-
fucking cell phone.
Yeah, and also how good the cameras are getting on our cell phones, that they can record in that kind of low light.
Right.
Right.
Like, you know, like we were talking before about how in the future, pretty soon, we're going to have almost like a virtual experience of tragedies, because there'll be just so many cameras and phones capturing it. We'll have that same thing if we have an alien encounter
Mm-hmm.
on a large enough scale.
Right.
It's
I
gonna be
think in a
crazy.
certain way that it would almost, just like in The Watchmen, unite the world for a common cause.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
it would.
that common cause would be blow that fucker out of the sky.
Yeah, probably.
So it's Independence
but
Day.
it would still be a common cause.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's like even if you take the scenario of Arrival, you know, like
Right.
you think we would have all countries would have been that like restrained before deciding, well, let's shoot the fucker.
yeah.
Well, I think
China
we'll have
would
way
take
too much
stand for
faith.
that shit. China would think it was something made by us or something, and just blow it up.
Well, that
I
is
think-
the fear, or a potential thing, Teddy.
All right, so I think you all have way too much faith in humanity. If something like
Yeah.
that were to happen, if something like that were to happen, there are a shit ton of videos already on YouTube of people with cell phones claiming they see shit over Russia and everything else. So debunking it wouldn't be, I don't think, would be too hard. But unless and like uniting humanity would only if every country would be trying to get as much technology as they could.
Well, that's what they're doing
With-
right now.
Yeah, without sharing. That what's the movie where the disc appears and shit?
Arrival?
Arrival.
One that's,
when
there's like
yeah.
a couple of them across the world,
Right.
and they talk to
and
them
they talk to him and
with coffee
and once-
stains.
and once in the movie, once they mention anything about weapons, the thing said you have the weapon or something.
Mm-hmm.
They translated like everybody went dark because they
Right.
said that all of them had a weapon. They're like, oh, we got a weapon, and like everybody went
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's every country is in it for themselves, And even if we got attacked, I don't think it would be some Independence Day shit. I think it'd be fucking. It'd be horrible.
I think it would give the mouth breathing fucktards that live in Tennessee a reason to hate something other than a Middle Eastern race. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, honestly,
we could all unite in the hatred of another species.
Right. It'd be like a temporary thing where we all hate the Greys or whatever, and then hopefully we get rid of the Greys, but we would then go back to fighting over like who gets to use this technology to build with, stuff like that.
Now, what makes you think? I mean, these things they possibly could have been around for, tens of thousands of years. We just have the technology now to really, see them, observe them.
Well, and to
ancient astronaut theorists believe those they have been here.
Do the ancient alien theorists believe that
ancient astronaut? Dick.
Yeah, they're ancient. You gotta say the astronaut. Yeah,
the ancient astronauts. Do they believe that?
Disrespect my show.
That God and Jesus could have been a manifestation of, like, religion started actually as a manifestation of.
No, they pretty much say he was an alien. Any kind of religious figure, they pretty much just say he's an alien.
Any person.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Benjamin Franklin, fucking alien.
Fucking alien. Yeah. Who else ties a fucking key to a kite to get electrocuted and survives?
Right.
Alien, bruh. Alien, bruh.
Yeah. Well, they Jesus came
have
back.
to tie everything to being an alien, though, don't they? Because isn't that the whole point of the show?
Right. Mm-hmm. And just watching that crazy guy with the crazy hair. That's really
they don't want to let their audience.
Nope, Facebook bullied him into cutting his hair.
Oh, come on!
Did he really?
I
know.
Yeah, he doesn't have the weird fucking. He's got the same sort of kind of hairstyle, but it is a lot smaller.
He's great.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Fucker.
Tasha says. Tasha LePage said that Project Blue Book resurfaced.
Yeah, I mean, Project Blue Book. What's that, Ashtray?
Oh, if Jesus comes back, how would we not know Jesus wasn't just an alien? Because you're going to have a certain number of people.
Like you might tell us.
Well, I think that's part of the problem. If like religion, I think a lot of people, and I think that's the problem with humans. We think for us to think that we're alone in this huge ass galaxy. One, for me, would be extremely disappointing. Because there's so much wasted space.
Yeah, it's pretty egotistical too.
And it's so egotistical to think that we're all that's here and God put us here. Sure, I mean, when it is discovered, I don't think we're alone. But when it is discovered, I think it will fuck up a lot of religious shit. And it'll cause
have an existential crisis.
Yeah, it'll have a bad effect on humanity.
It proves that God doesn't exist.
Right.
Well, plenty of them are going to be like. They're going to be like, God created those aliens too.
Maybe they're waiting. Universe. Maybe they're waiting for enough atheists.
Waiting for Trump to die. The shit's fucked up for a while, boys. Let's just wait.
Don't say Trump and die in the same sentence, dude. We're going to get shut down. We're going to get shut down right now.
Yeah, my son's asleep. I don't want to get my door swatted. Right? My house swatted, bro.
Get canceled by Trump.
All right. So there you have it. You heard it here first. So when in 10 years... when they actually confirm fucking aliens and they can't deny it anymore.
You're like,
I heard it here.
The Red Eye Report taught me that. I didn't even know what aliens were.
I've just seen where they were kidnapping kids. There's one alien was doing experiments where they're kidnapping kids to see if their parent, their mother, and erasing their memories of everybody to see if the mother remembers, and one mother remembers, and she like tracks him down, and she finds this government guy. And she's like, why do you let them do that? And he's like, we can't stop them. They're so technologically advanced. Have you ever seen it? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I got high one day. It came on. I was watching. Like,
that sounds interesting, though, where it's like people in the government.
Teddy was probably just super high and watching like a cooking show or something. And like in his high
imagining all this shit. Anyway.
Nope, I'm going to find it. You motherfuckers.
So until we do meet aliens... we found a company that can insert memories so that you can believe that you met aliens.
Right, so we're gonna listen. Ashtray.
I don't remember this movie.
Up.
All right,
shut up, Ashtray. Mute yourself.
Abduct Inc., your personal alien abduction memory implantation service. Have you ever wanted to know what it was like to have a Klingon battle rifle shoved up your ass?
Oh God, it hurts so bad.
We can make that happen. Bride says that you can't go to the strip club? Well, we can arrange to have the future hubby abducted by the women of Amazonia, where sexual assault against men is just a misdemeanor.
No! No!
And you thought Ronda Rousey was tough. Have you ever wanted to know what it would be like to be the pivot man in a Wookiee circle jerk?
There's so much cum. Oh my God, it stinks. Jesus Christ, his hair in it. It's like somebody ground up a cat.
Make sure you bring a towel. These are just a taste of the myriad pleasures awaiting you across the universe. Abduct Inc. Forget yourself. Get fucked in the ass by E.T.
That was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
I'm guessing Ashtray wrote that one.
I think Ashtray actually did the Wookiee. That sounded like Ashtray.
Yeah, I think that was my Wookiee.
That was pretty good.
I can do a good cum guzzling Wookiee.
Wow.
All right.
That's what he said.
So we're moving on to the What's Sexy portion of the show, where we tell you what's fucking good in this world. First up, we have Mystic with The Watchmen.
Hello? Are you there?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, cool. So The Watchmen is a comic book, obviously, if everyone doesn't know.
Obviously.
I think everyone does know. But, I mean, whatever. It started as a comic. Never read it. I saw the movie when it came out. But the show on HBO that they just came out with is good.
Dude,
That's all I'm gonna
thank
say.
you for that.
Check it out.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, first off, thank you for that honesty, because that's awesome. Boom.
Yeah, I
Way to
mean,
go.
whatever. I'm not going to judge people who have read it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go out and read it. But the show is good. You know what I'm saying?
Looks cool.
I wonder if it's written by the same people from the comic at all. Scoozy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's written by Damon Lindelof.
I have no idea who that is.
All right.
Well, keep going,
Cool.
and I'll look him up, and I'll tell you. I mean, I know he's famous, but I don't know what for. Because I'm high as fuck.
Next up, we have Ashtray with Breathe Right strips.
You guys ever use the Breathe Right strips?
No,
I
I
think
snore,
so.
so I was thinking about using them because I snore to see if they help out.
Yeah, I don't know how they work for snoring. I know they do claim they help. But man, when I get like severe sinus congestion this time of year, it's like you use the neti pot all you want. There isn't really like much up there. It's just that tissue is actually just inflamed to where you can't fucking breathe. These little fuckers make a difference. Surprisingly, it just has some little thin metal bars in it. Mm-hmm. That and a really strong adhesive. You just got to make sure you clean your nose really well and dry it off, and you can sleep with it in. It feels like it literally just helps pull some of that tissue apart, and it seems minor, but it's noticeable improvement, especially if you got allergy issues. So, and this one is Scratch and Sniff with menthol flavor.
Wait, this Scratch and Sniff, why does it have a flavor?
Scent?
It's a menthol scent.
Okay. You said menthol flavor like you
Yeah,
did
I know,
before.
I
That's
did.
all I'm asking.
I was thinking like menthol, like cigarettes,
Good for the sinuses and the
Wow.
breath.
Yeah.
Pop.
right? If you can lick your nose.
Anyway,
That's it.
Damon Lindelof created Lost with fucking JJ. Wrote Cowboys and Aliens, Prometheus, World War Z, Star Trek Into Darkness, Tomorrowland, and The Leftovers, which is a very underrated HBO series that I think is probably one of the best front to back stories in any television series ever created.
Damn.
It was a fucking damn good show. That's probably why I like this. Now that I think about it, it's all very similar.
What was the gist of The Leftovers? I remember hearing that name, but I can't think of what the show is.
It's something happens where half of the fucking world just disappears.
Oh, okay.
Or not half, like a percentage of the people in the world just disappear.
Gotcha.
So like
Thanos.
It takes place in the aftermath of that, and like all these religious groups start up and shit because they think it's the fucking reckoning.
I think I remember you talking about that one. This was a while back though, right? Like 5 years
it's been a few years since I've seen it. It's been 2014, I think, is when it started. There's only 3 seasons, but that's all it needed to be. It was a good story. Anyway, go ahead.
Right on. Next up is me with The Outer Worlds. So it's a new game that just released on Game Pass and other platforms, PC, PS4. It's made by Obsidian.
Do you only play games you don't have to pay for?
Well, fuck yeah.
All right, I'm just asking, bro.
For someone who uses Groupon, that's a dumb question.
Yeah, true. No, I'm not. Look, I'm cheap. I'm cheap with life, not my video games.
What is it?
Cheap with life.
So, this is made by Obsidian, the people that made Fallout New Vegas. And it kind of has a vibe with that. It kind of has a Fallout vibe to it.
Fallout in space.
Yeah, but it's definitely a different tone to it. So Fallout can be pretty bleak. You're just, in the fucking aftermath of fucking, some desolate area. Whereas Outer Worlds is kind of like a colorful space thing. You get your spaceship going, you're kind of going to all these different places, you pick up party stuff. I really like the writing. The dialogue is extremely good. Something that I wasn't expecting is the shooting is actually reminds me of Borderlands. It's really good. It's good, man. You get some good guns.
It looks almost like a Borderlands type.
It really, I'm liking this game a lot because Borderlands is cool to me until I get to my, 10th gun variation and I'm having to keep track of fucking all that shit and the writing is fucking dumb. Whereas this has clever writing and you have some of that loot stuff and you have some of the shooting, but it's not like complete. It's not a loot shooter. So it's kind of like somewhere in between. It's accessible.
Yeah, that always kind of dragged me down with like Borderlands. I couldn't play much longer. I was like, there's just so much shit you got to pick up and keep track of and combine. And,
right. Like, God. I can do that.
You really don't have to do all that in Borderlands.
Yeah.
That's why, you have so many gun choices. You can just throw so much shit away. You'll still be fine.
Right.
If you want to nitpick every little fucking thing, then yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just don't want to deal with that.
Nitpicker.
But this is good. I'm liking it a lot. So if you have Game Pass, you can play it for free. Which is a good fucking deal.
Game sucks.
All right.
Game sucks.
Next up, we have Teddy.
I didn't like Fallout New Vegas, so I guess that's kind of a...
Right. We have Teddy with Bitch Gets Banned.
FaZe Jarvis. He's a YouTuber who plays Fortnite, the gayest game alive. He's been banned for life from that game because he was caught cheating using aimbots. Yeah, he was using aimbots. And this stupid motherfucker, he posted a video of him openly using aimbots on YouTube by accident. He ended up deleting it. That's how he got caught.
How does an aimbot work?
It's a little cheat that it automatically once you hit somebody, it automatically tracks them and follows them. So all you have to do is shoot.
Literally in the name.
I get
fucking bot that aims for you.
I know that, but I mean, like, is it something you got to do on the PC, or like how do you?
I don't think you could use that on the Xbox, could you?
No, you can't do it on Xbox or anything else, but you can't do it on PC.
Okay.
And my what's sexy about this is fucking, if you're gonna cheat, do it in a game that's not multiplayer, because it's fucking it's
because the computer has no feelings.
Right, pretty much, yeah. You want to use a Game Genie on a Nintendo or something? It's fine. But if I am paying money for a service and a game, and you're coming in and you have to cheat to win at it, it fucks up everybody's experience.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fucking bullshit.
I'm surprised that they can't tell if you're using an aimbot or not on the servers. You know, like. You'd think there'd be some sort of a giveaway.
Well, I think they you can report somebody, but also they will go through and they will say, oh yeah, we banned fucking 6,000 people today, because they catch up, and then it's kind of like an arms race. It's like, okay, now we're a step
so they
ahead.
keep trying to find sneakier ways to do it without it giving away something traceable,
right? Which I don't know.
My thing is,
you gotta just be a fucking dick face to do that.
Well, I mean, he had a lot of followers in this Fortnite game because people thought he was that good. He's still claiming he's that good. But I mean, after using aimbots, who's really gonna believe the kid? I mean, I won't.
So was it a video he openly talked about it, or?
It didn't say it. He just said he posted a video of him openly using it. So I don't know if he was talking about it. I doubt he was talking about it because he didn't want to get caught.
Dumbass.
Well,
but my thing is, I think this kind of streaming society that we have going on here, or streaming fad, where everybody is trying to be as good as they can to get followers and try to.
Hell yeah! Look at us here at the Red Eye Report. We're the best, baby.
We're like the anti.
Right? We're the anti-aimbots.
Followers.
Yeah, it's true.
We actually use misbots.
Yeah, right?
I think this is part of the reason, and it kind of makes me wonder how
Travis Dressler is actually just a bot that spews out random facts.
Right? He's a
top fan.
He's an algorithm that's just gotten out of control. But is not bent on world domination. He's
you guys watch
one.
Silicon Valley at all? The HBO show?
No.
One dude creates a bot that responds. Like, one guy keeps messaging this other guy and he hates him, so he creates a bot to respond in a negative way every time. And the dude thinks that they're just like being dudes and like fucking with each other. It'd be like, I hate Carl. He's like, I fucking hate you. Oh, you're so funny. Fuck you. It's fucking great.
All right. You know what else is not so great? We're moving on to the fuck what you think. This is where we tell you to go fuck yourself in the ass and things that are shitty in this world. And we have Ashtray with cancel culture.
Cancel culture. Yeah, so I didn't even really realize this was a term until recently. But I think it's only because high schoolers have made it a term. And it's essentially just deciding you're going to boycott someone or something because they did whatever wrong or, wronged you in a certain way. It's just like...
They posted an Instagram.
They, yeah, exactly. It's like their Instagram was so deflammatory. And it's like, it's inflammatory, you dumbass.
Whoa.
Let me...
Are you having a fight with your fake... teenage
You're having a fight with a fake teenager self.
Yep. I was just trying to share this picture. It's like, why it's not coming up?
Good.
But, it's like the perfect picture of the kind of person who would be the cancel culture, almost like that trigger lib,
right.
Triggered lib meme.
The person that bullied you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, all it is just like deciding. I guess there was like a whole horde of people deciding they were gonna cancel Lizzo because one of her songs was on the chart, above Ariana Grande. But Ariana Grande did a remix with her, but that one wasn't on the top charts. It didn't give Ariana Grande any credit, and it's just like, even though Ariana...
Are you speaking English? I don't even understand what you're saying.
Dude. Ariana Grande like tweeted out, congrats. It's like Ariana Grande didn't have even a problem with this, and it's just the way Billboard works. It's whatever version.
Okay, yeah.
It's the most
Are you some secret like super Ariana Grande fan? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Oh no, Lizzo for life. Bitch.
Okay, so this is dumb. And this is terrible, but when I was a teenager, I was fucking smoking weed out of fucking pop cans and
like
doing other
you
dumb
mean like
shit.
everybody else was doing?
Exactly. So, I mean, this is more dumb shit that kids do. Yes, I don't agree with it, but also I think back about, how much of an idiot I was. So I can't really fucking talk.
Yeah.
I guess.
But there's, that Obama had a recent thing where he, basically scolded millennials that, like, you can't just go around pointing out everybody's
right
flaws, and whenever they make some mistake or misstep or say something insensitive, and think that that's being woke and, like, you're making change that way.
Right. Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
Because they are just fucking... it's like the people when you go to the co-op, it's like you'll find those people that will argue about anything.
Right. That's when you punch them in the stomach.
Or headbutt them like you do in Madden. Then run away.
All right. Next up, we have Teddy. Stab.
Oh, you're not going to say the rest of it?
All right. Nigga stabbed over a chicken sandwich. You like that?
Zero tolerance.
Man,
Zero tolerance. We need to fire Oracle.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, man, a nigga was killed over a goddamn chicken sandwich. This shit is getting out of hand. Do you say nigga 17 times in every show? Stop whining. Dude, so a cat in Maryland, he cut in line. Another gentleman took offense to that and stabbed him in his chest, then took his bitch and ran.
He took his chicken sandwich?
No, it was a woman with him. He took his chick and ran. Not chick and ran.
Oh, he took his woman with him.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's on a date to Popeyes.
Oh, my God.
Because you don't take that. You don't get in front of my woman.
So,
come on, baby, we gotta go.
He left the knife at the scene. The cops are still looking for this nigga. And my thing is, there was a line specifically for the chicken sandwiches, and then they were handling other shit at other registers. So this fucking, there are enough people in here to see this motherfucking. And if you were dumb enough to stab a guy over a chicken sandwich, you do not belong in society.
Yeah,
that's valid.
And most Popeyes are in the one Popeyes that I go to, it's in the two I know of in Nashville are in very urban areas. So I mean they're kind of like everybody knows everybody. I mean, why would you want, if this guy stabs somebody over a chicken sandwich, why would you want him in your neighborhood? I mean, he could stab you because you cut him off. Or
it's like a child molester. We don't want no chicken sandwich stabbers in here. Whenever Halloween comes around, tell them, don't you turn your porch lights on and stab someone for a chicken sandwich.
Look, I find out my neighbor killing people, I'm either taking him out before he take me out, or I'm calling the cops. One or two.
Well, I would hope if you stab a motherfucker over a chicken sandwich, you go to jail.
You're probably not mentally
These are just
stable.
not problems that white people have to deal with. Like I said, you don't go to a Popeyes after 9 p.m. if you're white. I don't give a fuck. Dude, you'll get stabbed. It won't be over a chicken sandwich. It'll just be because you're white.
Go to a White Castle at 1 a.m. in St. Louis. Boy, that's a romp.
Jesus.
I went to White Castles by my girlfriend's house like 2 weeks ago, and there was a tranny working the fucking window. I was like, awesome.
Nice.
So,
nice. That's fine, man. Why you gotta judge?
It was weird. I was high as fuck, caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, because
they do exist.
Oh. It was.
I'll take a selfie with you.
Nuts.
No, actually, it's like, wait, a tranny in Tennessee? Get out of here.
That's what I was just kind of. I was like,
he meant a transmission. It was a transmission from a 1967 Dodge Dart.
Right?
Yes.
Why aren't you taking my orders? Not
taking
even
orders.
Just rusted and leaning up against the till.
Right. Anyway, go. Sorry.
All right. Next up, we have me with Season of the Disease. So
what did you catch this
That's a
time?
good band name.
I didn't fucking catch anything because I have a solid fucking system, Teddy. I fucking whenever I feel
Whoa.
How solid is that system?
whenever I feel the disease coming on and I'm surrounded by fucking people sneezing and coughing and fucking boils exploding, fucking eyes
what the fuck? Where do you work?
shooting pus.
Well, these people that you're helping probably are not. They probably don't have the best hygiene, do they?
Well, okay, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but if somebody comes in with a cold, I have my vitamin C packets. Fucking dump one of those motherfuckers in a cup. Fucking ingest that. If I feel anything beyond that,
is it emergency?
It's the knockoff emergency because I'm not going to be spending that money.
Yeah, because that shit doesn't work.
It fucking works for me every time.
It does not,
dude. It works.
Teddy,
Overload,
if he doesn't
your body
get sick,
can only,
it works. I don't give a fuck.
I don't get sick.
How it works.
No, your body can only absorb so much of a vitamin at a time. Just you're fucking loading it with thousands.
This is a placebo fucking force field.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Whatever, as long as it works.
He's got a point.
Even if
it works for him, it's gonna work.
Right.
It works.
If you believe, Teddy.
Can't say.
Motherfuckers are dropping like flies around me, and I'm running strong. So just want to put that out there. But season the disease don't fucking come in if you're like dying and you're
the
obviously
people you
sick.
help. They're kind of on that lower pole of like keeping their shit together, right? So they're probably like really sickly, maybe a little unkempt.
Well, still.
Dude, I mean, it also depends on the job, man. I've worked in restaurants where.
Well, that just means I'm using that as a stereotype that they're going to get sick.
We
more
know,
often.
yeah, but we know how diseases work. We know how viruses work and shit. Fucking don't go somewhere and cough all over the place or fucking sneeze all over the place.
Well, I mean, sometimes, like I said, some jobs won't let you do that. I mean, I've worked at restaurants where if you had a code and you shouldn't be handling people's food, they would still like you still got to come in. I mean, like,
really?
fuck
that. Like
if you don't have a fever,
they'll
then
take the risk of you getting someone sick.
Yeah, over
the like loss of a hand.
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
it was like that when I worked at magazines.com. If you didn't have a fever, you came in.
Damn.
It's like you don't. Yeah.
And I grew up that way too. Like I'm guilty of going in when I shouldn't. I am that motherfucker.
All right.
I think everybody in the Midwest has.
The Midwestern German, like, well, just walk it off. Go back to
right. Fucking. Well, I got one leg left.
Yeah.
Might as well go in.
All right. Next up, we have Mystic with commercials.
So, I've bitched about this before, but radio commercials are just outrageously bad nowadays.
Yeah,
it's like I heard one yesterday that was just a lawyer talking into his cell phone, and you can clearly tell that it was him talking into his cell phone. So he had a voiceover dude do the intro and the outro, and then it was just him in the middle, like fucking, hey, I'm the best fucking, blah 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 lawyer. But you could totally tell he's just recording it in a conference room on his cell phone. Like, dude, if you're gonna advertise and pay that much money to advertise on the biggest station in Milwaukee, you should probably put some fucking time into it.
Well, and usually they will. Usually the station will bring you in. It's like and use because for the most part, you got to
pay for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know
what I mean. You could just buy the airtime and do it yourself, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to fucking save a buck. But
I see. Yeah,
see, your first
you need to spend a little more.
Is listen to the radio.
I still listen to the radio a lot.
Yeah, listen to that. Gimme radio.
Yeah, I don't listen to the radio. I use Spotify in my car or some other kind of music media. I don't listen to radio.
Yeah, I do the old find out what the hell's going on in the world NPR in the morning. On the drive to work.
While you're
what should I be enraged about today?
You're the fucking cat fucking shepherd.
Cat Shepherd.
with
Yeah.
NPR.
No cats
It'll
anymore.
be okay. All right. So that's
Hey man,
it.
don't knock TED Talks, okay?
TED
Yeah,
Talks.
right.
Some of those are fucking stupid.
You there?
Oh, yeah.
God damn it.
Right?
I'm dumb as hell.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
We
Did
yes,
you
we
die?
hear you.
Yes,
All
I'm
your jokes were
retarded. 0%
lost.
financing. You know what I'm saying? Did you even hear that part?
No.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
no.
Never
That's why we
mind.
didn't laugh.
There's a dude that says it like 7 or 8 times in a row in a fucking commercial.
Ugh.
I hate that shit. Anyway, sorry, go
In the
ahead.
words of Mystic, we didn't hear you because maybe she gets some better equipment.
Ooh.
Touche.
Boom.
Touche.
Hey,
Got paid for
man.
mine.
Fucking 0% financing.
0%
Don't get mad at me because I got sugar mamas.
Plural.
Sugar in-laws.
All right.
Brown sugar mamas.
In all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Roswell, New Mexico. That's our
Yeah,
show.
get it, Roswell.
Don't
We're going to
piss
be
them off.
here every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. We already gave up on Twitter, so don't worry about that one.
No, I've been tweeting. Fuck you.
You lying
Have you been tweeting?
motherfucker. You
Man,
have
You need to make the tweet share to our Facebook page then, so we actually know you're doing it.
How do I fucking do that?
I don't think that's how that shit works.
Your review is
No,
going
I
to
think
be
you can make your.
dependent on this shit, Teddy. You need to make sure
Your review.
that we know that you're working.
Exactly. Well, and I'm pretty sure with with Instagram, when you make a post,
Yeah.
you can set it
Facebook
to share
owns
to your Facebook.
Instagram.
Oh,
Twitter and Facebook are
Yeah,
two fucking separate things.
yeah.
I really think we just missed
Okay.
the boat on the Twitter thing. I think
Well,
we should
fuck
just
Twitter. Anyways,
Fuck it anyway.
Twitter's where cancel culture.
I am not giving up, you son of a bitch.
That's fine.
Well, then send us screenshots, because we know you can't Photoshop.
You don't have to send us shit. Nobody really cares. Actually. What the fuck?
like us, share us, or fuck us. We're down for
Nope.
whatever. I'm Oracle.
I'm Mystic.
This is the ashtray.
I'm sending screenshots. Fuck y'all. I'm Teddy.
Oh, see?
There you go, buddy.
And this is the Red Eye Report.
Easy.
There you go.
Bam.
Eat a dick.
report. Whose is it next week, Ashtray?
I think.